It's not you, it's me. It's not you, it's me.
Okay. Okay.
It's always me. Just FYI.
F you, F you, F all of you.
Sometimes your brain, I'm just like, yes,
Explosion.
thank you, Jesus. Let him fart in peace. You're wearing a Canada hat.
I have a in our bedroom on my side of the room. I created a hat rack from like some dollar store racks or whatever, and I kind of like just nailed them into the wall. So I got like six shelves for my hats, and it's perfect like how it's set up. It's at a nice angle. They slide into each other. So, but I got like just a buttload of hats there. So
Ah.
just the top one.
Like Devin having all the shoes, you have all the hats. Do you have any $700
You
hats?
no, no. My most expensive hat was like price tag $50, but I paid like 25 because I'm just not
Okay,
gonna
but
pay that much for a hat.
what? Yeah, I don't blame you. You're just gonna have like scalp sweat in there. But what possessed you to ever buy a Canada hat? Is my question. This is my question. I gotta know because
Oh, because it was random.
okay,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
okay.
like I still do, but especially back then, like it's high school years. I graduated in 2002, so like 2001 I was junior. You know, you're still
Hmm.
like finding like your style and your sense of self. And I was
Hmm.
always into like things that were different. And like I never
Okay.
wanted to be like anyone else, you know. So like everyone else is
Hmm.
rocking a fitted hat and it's gonna have like their sports team on it and everything. And I was like, F that noise. It's like I want that. I want that Canada.
Canada. Canada's so obscure.
Yeah.
Canada. From movies to video games, welcome to Marie Plays It All. Today's episode is another Love is Blind special with George, and we are covering episodes 10, 11, and 12. We are out of the pods. We are back from Honduras. How do you say Honduras? Nice, like the right way.
Honduras?
Honduras.
Honduras?
Honduras?
Yeah. Yeah.
Honduras? You got the tongue roll? Okay, well, I wasn't that off.
Or you could say Honduras is fine. I mean, Honduras
Honduras.
works.
We came
Honduras
back
is
from
totally fine.
came back from Honduras
Yeah.
and Honduras. And we're living in real life now. We're meeting family members. We're living together. We're meeting up with old pod mates. So we're going to cover it all. Hey, we even are starting the weddings at the end of these three episodes. So
Yeah.
bachelor parties, bachelorette parties, which we will talk about because I have things to say about them.
Oh, oh, oh.
Yeah, I have things to say about the bachelor and bachelorette parties. So we'll see what those things are. But first things first, where do we start? Can we start right where it starts? And wasn't that with a Dave and Lauren conversation
Yes. Yeah, 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 yes. We've talked about this, like they all just homodulate into one big episode.
at this
But
time?
I
Yeah, at this
believe
point.
episode 10 is the episode where they do have their fallout, right?
Yes,
Or was
I
that
think.
episode 11? But like it goes right back into them. And it seems like at first everything's kind of hunky dory again. Like everything seems like they're patched stuff up. They're out bowling and that they're
Oh,
having a
he meets
good
the mom.
time. He meets the
It's the
mom.
beginning of
Everything's
episode 11 that they split. But anyway,
okay, okay,
there's
okay.
at the end of episode 10's where
Yeah,
thing. This is
yeah.
like meeting the parents episode kind of for some of them.
Yes, he was on, and like things seem to be going semi well to some
Semi
extent.
well.
Like, yeah, and like the mom's asking good questions and stuff like that. Like the mom doesn't seem bad at all. He again, like he's the one who brings up the thing. The thing with like the fling and like how his friends and his sister and that and this and that. And it's just like, dude, why are you still harping on this? Just let it
Hmm.
go already. And like I was waiting for the mom to just chime in and just be like, well, it sounds like you're not into this. You know?
Yeah.
It's like maybe like, if you're thinking this hard about it still and you're not even like letting her see your side of the family and friends, I think
Hmm.
there's your answer, right? But he's
But
like,
the
no,
whole
I'm in it. I'm in it. Like I love you so much. It's just but
yeah, it's just that he's so dry, and I have no trust for that dude at all.
oh
And
yeah.
when they're speaking, Lauren is so seems emotionally mature, and like she wants to address things, wants to solve things, wants to fix things, and he's just not there. Like he's not on the level. It's either I don't know if it's just how he feels about her or just relationships as a whole, or he can't get over his ego as something like about that is said later.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but this ain't her dude. It's so clear, so obvious from the beginning of the episode, and then again at the end of the episode. They talk about it a couple times, but then there's a little, yeah, you're right, a little like nice patch in the middle where he meets the mom, and he's so, I don't want to say soulless. That makes me feel like bad, but there's not any like enough compassion or something there. He's just too closed off, not emotional enough or compassionate enough. I don't know. I
Yeah.
Bad vibes.
No, I think he's definitely emotionally like not matured for this kind of stuff. And I think it all
Mhm.
goes back to the like when we think about even in the pods he mentioned it's like his connection to his sister. Like whatever his upbringing with his sister was, he
Mhm.
holds it like because let's say this all everything he's saying is true, right? And it's not a looks thing with her and he's not trying to find a scapegoat to try to get out of this.
Yeah.
If it's all with his sister, which he mentions over and over again, it's like he seeks her approval so much and like he's latched
Mhm.
onto her that like he can't make his own decisions in life. Not when it comes to relationships, at least. You know, like he talked
Mm-mm.
about like not even wanting to come on the show because it would have disappointed her. And like she would have like not respected it and all that kind of stuff. So it's like there's stuff there, like family stuff that he's just latched onto it. Who knows what happened in his past that
Oh,
we
it
just don't
didn't
know about.
didn't his mom pass away? Like, doesn't he have like that his mom passed away, and maybe that's why his connection with his sister's so
Oh, they're
strong.
probably
It's
right.
kind of
Yeah,
like he
that's
has
probably
like,
right.
yeah. So I guess he kind of maybe looks at his sister as like his
The
mom's.
mom
But even
figure. Yeah.
so, I feel like it's even rare to have like that much for like, well, it's up to my mom, like whatever mommy says, and like it seems more acceptable because it's your sister. I don't know, but it's
I
a
mean,
little intense.
I like to think of myself as a father figure to my little brother because like my parents at times
Hmm.
were not the best parents and I had to step up. But like,
Hmm.
man, I'll tell you right now, my brother won't freaking pause a marriage but because of me. He's like, I'm my own
Yeah,
man.
right, right. As you should feel. So
Yeah.
yeah, it just seemed like Dave was using every excuse in the book just to get out of this relationship and
Yeah.
have it so Lauren would end it,
Yeah, like it's
not
her fault.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's yeah, I don't like throwing the word narcissistic out because I feel like it's so overused these days, but that there's just some sort of like tendencies there, like gaslight type stuff. Again, an overused term these days, but when you see it, you kind of see it and you can feel it. So,
Yeah. I mean, and
mm.
he gets called out later on by multiple people.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
it's not like it's an audience thing or whatever. It's like no.
no.
Everyone around you is seeing this.
Yeah. Okay, I can't wait to get to that part of the conversation, but that party needs to be its own little separate. We're going to talk about that whole party as a
Yeah.
whole. Okay, we're
Yeah,
going to
because there
get
was a
there because
bunch of
that
little
party is
nuggets
like,
in there.
oh, yeah. So we got to get there. But again, I think with this episode 10, another thing I want to touch on is how Joey and Monica and their photo shoot.
Okay. And the
I
sister?
well, in the sister, my clients, and it's like, okay, just I don't know, there's still something about the sister that's a little harsh or
Yeah.
self involved for me. But anyway, there's warming up to the idea of them, which is good. Good. Progress is good. And I love the whole photo shoot with Joey and Monica. All the pictures looked awesome and beautiful, and they just seem
I think
so
half of the
good
pictures look
together.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Some of the pictures I was critical about, I was like, you guys should have got a professional.
Oh, some of the stills were really cute and seemed to capture
Yeah.
the essence. But I my favorite part about that whole thing was at the end when they were talking and Joey says, "Well, you guys should hug." To Monica and her sister. I thought that was so
Yeah.
sweet. He's like, "You guys should hug. Hug all the time. Like you guys should hug now. This is a hug moment. Like go
Yeah.
hug." Because that's something like I'm a hugger, okay? So I hug even maybe when if I meet somebody, I'm just like, "I'm gonna hug you," and I just hug someone. So I feel the power of hugs, and I love that Joey kind of forced them to hug each other because I think it's
It's just their
important.
family.
I
It's your
know that,
sister.
especially then. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially then. Okay, another thing that happened in that episode, which I also love, is I really loved Virginia's mom.
Yes.
Virginia's mom was great. I loved their entire conversation together. She asked so many good questions. She's like such a smart, sweet woman. And, Virginia and Devin said all the right things. And I'm thinking, is this too good. Like you guys are saying all the right things, like right now. So I'm just like,
Their words sound good, but I
yeah,
always go back to Devin's face. His
I,
eyes. His eyes say a lot more than what his words say. When
mm,
they're on dates or like when they're in bed talking to each other. So like the
yeah, yeah,
conversation they had after meeting the mother,
hmm,
and she's like, is there anything else? Anything I should that you want to know from me that could make you want to leave? Like what are the things that are gonna make you? What are the red flags? What's gonna be the thing that's just like you say no to? And he's just there like, nah, we've said everything. There's nothing else. And it's just like there's a
yeah,
lack
just,
of emotion in there. You know what I mean? But he's just
hmm,
off. Like this is a person that you just in this same conversation, they talked about how they love being in bed together. They love being intimate together. But you're
yeah,
not even looking at her. And like this is still fresh. Like this is still the honeymoon phase of a relationship.
yeah,
I mean, like till this day, I still can't take my eyes off my wife. Like before, as I go to sleep, that's the last thing I want to see. So it's just like to
oh,
me, I'm just like watching this. I was like, are you real? Are you serious? Because if this is true, you should be looking at her because you'll always
yeah,
see her look at him, but you don't see it being reciprocated, So it's like, then you think about the prenups talk and everything, and every time that gets
hmm,
brought up, you could see the hesitation in his voice and in his face. It's just like I don't believe he's 100% locked in no matter what he says. Like I said, they say the right things. He says the right
hmm,
things. He even does some of the right things with like some of the gifts that he's given her. But
hmm,
like I said, his face and eyes, I don't know. Something is
yeah.
not 100% clicking.
The face and the eyes and the inflection, there's like no oomph to anything. There's no passion right now. I don't see a passion connection.
Yeah.
Like
And we've seen
kind of
him
with
have passion and connection. Like when he's with the boys, there's a new voice. He's like, yo, yeah, he got all that freaking joy. And even when he's talking in general about other things, you could see some of that. He's talking about his shoes or whatever, basketball, and like his love for God and family. You see it. But then when like it's the heavy conversations, it gets shut down and he's just like serious and he's just off. Well, with her, you still feel a little bit of that cute bounciness in her voice, even when talking about the serious stuff. She doesn't lose that energy.
yeah, what's up with that?
So,
I noticed that too, that he seemed a little distant or even like like physically he's like looking into space or looking far away or he feels far away or something or he doesn't feel like the energy. I don't know, it also could be you're on camera, maybe you're nervous, like I don't know, but like you say there's other
it's true.
times when
Very
there's
true.
other people around, and I mean when there's other people around like the boys and stuff, there's like they're drinking, they're having fun, like maybe he's shy and I don't know. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
I don't know. There were also a lot of political discussion in the episode, especially
Yeah.
the first one, and just like tons, like more than any other season for sure. And I
Oh yeah.
wonder, like,
I think it's the
is
time
it
we're in right now.
well, that's what I'm thinking. Like, it was filmed before, but there's like a lot in this one about all specific political things, and I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
just like,
Especially
okay,
the bullet points. Yeah.
yes, the bullet points that were very, yeah, exactly. That's why I'm saying, like, I wonder if they were actually advised, like, hey, you
To
know what,
some
make sure you
extent.
talk
Yeah.
about political stuff because they have books with questions in them. We've seen those typed out
Oh
books
yeah.
that they have. They'll go
Yeah.
like, I wonder if they're like kind of like, okay, talk a lot about politics this season because it's a hot topic right now, and because it's going to obviously cause discussion because we're talking about it. So
Yeah.
I wonder if it's for some sort of algorithm, so some sort of
I could
yeah.
definitely totally see that. I mean, with all reality television, there is
Hmm.
a lot of producing that goes on in
Oh
the
yeah,
background. Like I think you'd say it's like 20% real, 80% produced. So,
yeah,
a lot of it is
yeah.
cultivated. They're gonna give them a lot of points of like, hey, and that it's like a lot of it can be direct, but a lot of it can be indirect too, where like
Hmm.
they might just mention it in passing within their own conversations, so not even like necessarily telling them, but saying it around them, so that it's just like it's in their head, so kind of like planting that
Hmm.
seed of like, oh yeah, the camera guy and the boom operator, they were talking about the politics and like abortion rights. I'm gonna bring that up. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
I think them having that conversation, like when Victoria and Devin had that conversation. I think that is
Virginia,
important.
Virginia.
Virginia, sorry, Victoria, I'm making up people. Like when they had that conversation, I think it's worthwhile. I
Hmm.
think it's definitely reasonable to have it. You know what I mean? And I feel like their conversation
Agreed.
was productive because, like he definitely gave his perspective on things. He did fight. He gave the question back that we wished that the other couple had. Because he's like,
Yes.
what if I had just an opposing opinion? Like, would that be it for you? Would you not want to be with me? What would that be for us? It's like I like that they actually had it. It is important to have it. So I
Hmm.
was all for it. I thought it was very well done, and they seemed okay with each other afterwards. You know, it still felt
100%.
awkward per se because of how he is, and you kind of
Yeah.
you kind of felt it from her where she's just like, "All right, I think that's enough serious talk for now." You
Yeah,
know?
she's like, "Well, do you have anything to say? Do you have anything to ask me?" And then he brought up stuff, but I think it's the way he engages where it seems like maybe he doesn't want to talk about it, or maybe and I
Yeah,
understand him not wanting to talk about something like that on camera because his perspective was not like the popular one, I guess.
yeah,
And I'm proud of him for talking about it, being open and being like, well, what about the guy's point of view, or how he came back, or when she's like, well, I feel like most black people vote Democrat, and he was like,
yeah.
well,
He's like,
my
my dad's
dad's
black.
black. Yeah, he's like, when are you? He doesn't. So I think I like that they were both open with each other and said their feelings, and then at the end of it, they just were like, okay, like it's fine, fully respectful, which is
Yeah,
like, yeah, I know, I like to see it.
yeah. Because I think at the end of the day, like both their perspectives came from a place of logic.
Yeah.
Like and neither one of them felt like hardcore, but at the same
Mm-mm.
time still they felt like this is what I feel. They felt they were heard, and I think the topic that she chose, you could see like he still said that the woman has the choice. Like he feels like the
Mhm.
woman should have a final choice, but there's certain circumstances. So it's like, all right, that shows you have reason within like, your
Yes.
decisions. You're not just like, this is what it is and that's that. The Bible. Yeah.
Yes. Right. I love that because that's I guess you don't see that much right now, especially on social media, but I also think it's the
Yeah.
people who have such severe this is the way it is, the Bible thoughts that say the most. And the people who are like the reason like, well, I could see both sides are quiet. So
Yeah. We're
I
also
want to say
we're the ones who aren't heard either, you
yeah,
know.
that's true. Okay, so I don't remember much else happening that episode that's like huge. Like I know like there was Daniel and Taylor are just still cute and great.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, and
I
then
felt there was no hiccups with them.
no hiccups with them. And then also Sarah and Ben kind of resolved their little they have a conversation in the next episode, but um
Episode 10, is that when they went to church together or was that the next one? Yeah, because the church moment,
mhm.
I felt it in her, like you could see her face and her body actions.
Yeah,
She was
her
not
eyes
feeling it.
too.
She was not
No.
feeling that at all. Like it looked like torture for her. And when you see his face, I think he could tell. Like I think
Yeah.
because she's on him, she's touching him. I think he can read it where it's just like, fuck, she's not down with this. She's not, which in turn I felt like that may have like ruined his moment with the Lord because this is a special place for him. And
Hmm.
then, having this person who's special not reciprocate it the way that he does
Hmm.
kind of sucks.
Yeah, she was okay when she talked about it after, but like yeah, her face too. I was like, what's she thinking? What's she feeling? She didn't do this, and it's hard because if you're listening to stuff that you think is a bunch of mumbo jumbo,
Yeah.
uh, it's hard to be like, oh, really? Like this is what? But you know what? She still seems to respect him regardless.
Yes.
Number
Yeah. Yeah.
one.
It's one of those things where I always look at because like I've gone to church, I've gone to different churches, you know,
Them too.
uh, but I'm not super religious. I have
Mhm.
I like how he always puts it. I have faith.
Mhm.
I'm not religious. I'm just faithful. I have faith. And like that's how I look at it. I believe that there's something, but like I don't take the Bible by the word. I mean, this is
No.
written how many years ago? Come on, it's like some things you gotta take with a grain of salt, and some things you gotta look, interpret it differently. And that's the thing. It's like they're just trying to preach the positive stuff. Like when you see that in the episode, like there's a lot of positive things that guy's saying on stage, and it's just like if you're looking for the bad, you're gonna find it. But if you just
Yes.
like focus on the good, like everyone else is, And then also just focus on how's everyone treating each other in that sermon, in that church, before and afterwards. If you can see there's like this sense of community, a lot of respect for one another, take that from it. Don't take what
Mm.
you think it means and what you think they're not accepting, because they haven't shown you that they don't accept yet. And I felt
Right.
like she's still kind of pushes that within like her words, and when she describes what he goes to, she's like she says it, she felt like it still wasn't inclusive or doesn't talk about inclusivity. It's like, well, yeah, that's not what the Bible does. That's not, you know
Mm.
the Bible's talk of inclusivity is the sense of faith, worship, and love. You wanting to like not hear certain keywords like lesbian or trans or whatever, that's on you. Just when they use the word all and mankind and everyone, like, that's everybody. Take that as
Hmm.
everybody. So it's like
Yeah.
I feel like those little things or like little nuances are important that just aren't heard sometimes, and I felt that's where she was coming from, which is wasn't really wanting to accept it in that way.
Especially when you're going into something with like a preconceived like notion of what you
Yeah.
are told something is. It's hard to get immersed into it because you're kind of you have that block up where you're like, no, I hear and I know that you think this way about something. So you can also unknowingly to yourself twist think words that are being said to fit your narrative in your head when really that's not what they mean at all. It's just like you have a narrative and what you're hearing, you'll twist it to fit what you think.
It's funny because like later on you see like her mom goes to church. So
Mhm.
and when she found out that she went to a sermon with him, she's like, "Does it mean you'll go to church with me?" So it's like, wait a second, your mom seems accepting of your sister. He's obviously accepting of your sister, and he has gay friends. So it's like, I think this church thing's on you. It
Well, that's
doesn't
why
make
I
anyone
was
else as a
thinking.
problem but you.
Well, I was thinking like, well, wait, is there some sort of a trauma revolving around church that stems from your childhood, maybe? Or
Yeah.
that stems from some sort of church that your mom goes to, or maybe they're a lot more strict. Like, so that's why you have this embedded in your brain, like this is what church is. But it can't be that bad if the sister's married and the mom seemed to like support everything. Like I don't.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like, okay, there's something ingrained in Sarah to not like church and to assume that every church and every whatever faith or whatever Christianity, they all like hate the gays or something. Like there's something in there because when her mom said that too, I was like, wait a second, hold up. Now it goes deeper because you don't like church and God and whatever for some other reason that we don't know. I think. So at the end of that episode, thank the Lord. Speaking of the Lord,
Thank the
love,
Lord.
thank you, Jesus. Lauren and Dave break up. Thank God.
Yeah.
And the next episode, I just want to get into it already about the party.
The party.
They're all meeting together,
Yeah.
okay? And old pod mates are gonna be there. Pod, what do they call it? What should we call them?
The Pod family, right? That's what they call them,
Pod
or
fam? Is that what they're called?
I think that's called,
Anyway,
yeah.
we finally get to the party and we have B Dot showing up. We
Yeah.
have Mason, the cube,
Uh-huh.
Mason,
Yeah.
Meg, Alex, and Madison show up. I thought there
Yeah.
was one more person. But
Molly.
Molly. Molly
Yeah.
shows up.
Yeah.
Okay, George, I'm just gonna let you take it away. You
Molly
started
the
it.
bro.
Hey, I said things about Molly in the first batch of
Yeah,
our last episode, and had some weird vibes about Molly. And let me tell you, I was dead wrong. I love Molly. I
right?
think she's amazing. And I can admit when I'm wrong. I was dead wrong. Molly is
uh
amazing. I love her so much. Yes.
I I liked like thinking back to like the pods, I think I liked Molly more than I like Lauren on an individual level, never mind like who they belong to the couple. Like I saw myself liking her, like if I was a single dude, I'd like her. She seems
Okay.
cool, you know, and not bad on the eyes. Uh but like remember even I was like during the pods and everything, I was like, man, you doing some sketchy things. I don't like how you're just letting out things or I keep some things to yourself. But then in this, she became ride or die. I was like, oh snap, who the hell are you? Because she's been super cool with Lauren, and because Lauren was cool with her. So like I think that opening up and being there for each other moment really just made something with them. So now she's just like her sister, and she is there for her, and she's seeing everything that's happening. And I thought this was funny, but at the same time, I was just like petty. Was when she talked about like what he looked like when she saw him on Instagram. Like I was like, dodge the bullet.
I don't even know if it was necessarily what he looked like, but maybe it is I didn't look at his Instagram and see what selfies they were talking about, but
Yeah, me
maybe it
neither.
was the fact, maybe it was a type of selfies, maybe it was
Uh,
the type of photos. That's what I'm wondering. Because I don't think he's like an ugly guy whatsoever, but she was like, but did you see his selfie? So I'm thinking, so it wasn't like, hey, did you see? I saw a photo of him and I was like, ew. It was almost like, did you see like his selfie photo? So I'm
yeah,
wondering if I'm gonna have to look them up now, but I'm wondering if like he takes really like some sort of
cringy.
selfies or yeah, like that. So or like maybe he's like not wearing a shirt or so like eh.
Yeah,
So
typical
that's
dude thirst trapping kind of thing.
yeah, that's what I'm wondering. So that way I was like, okay, I can maybe see Dave posting something kind of like that. So maybe it's that. So I accepted it.
Yeah, I still thought it was like it was kind of funny though and everything.
Yeah.
But then after that, the way she just like confronted him and it was just like, hey, remember in the pods when you were like you're saying you're kind of like self-destructing when it comes to like relationships? Maybe you're doing that right now. And he's just like, no, no, that's not it. And she's like, no, it is. And it kind of felt like that older sister or like parent, friends like, if you break her heart, I will end you kind of conversation. But I
It was
loved
awesome.
every second of it. I was like, yeah, freaking tell this guy. He's a freaking idiot. He's
The way she was talking to Lauren, they seemed to have a really good, genuine care for each other. Some sort of like sisterhood bond. Like it was very respectful. The way
yeah.
she talked to Dave, I was like, you got balls, Molly. Like yeah, I loved everything that she said.
Yeah, like it had me wishing that she ended up with somebody so we could have got to see more of her.
I know, I agree. I totally agree. And remember how drunk Dave was when he was talking to Lauren after? Oh my God.
Yes.
He's like,
Oh man.
sometimes this just I want things I can't have, and then I have them, and then I don't want them, and then I don't have them, and I want them. And like he was slurring, he couldn't even talk. And she was just looking at him like, oh my God. I
Yeah.
think she was thinking I majorly dodged a bullet. And he was like,
Yeah.
I went through your house and your stuff wasn't there. And I'm like, wasted, Dave. Like he was wasted.
Yeah, he was so done. I was worried in a moment because like she kind of was like giving that look in her face and like I wasn't sure what she was gonna say. It's like, please don't take him back. Like I had myself talking to the TV. I was like, do not take this man back. All right, leave him at the curb where he belongs, please, woman. And she came through. She came through for us, and she's like, well, you messed up. What's done is done. It's over. I was like, oh, thank
Yeah.
God, thank
Yeah.
God.
Well, and I also now you're telling me this, of course, because you're drunk. Like now, it's like you want to have
Yeah.
emotion because you're drunk. Like too late. Be like this sober or like out. I'm out.
And at the end, it's just words.
Yeah.
Because like what he would have needed to do in that moment to make a total difference is
Mhm.
just like call your friends, your sister, your dad, have them come here right now
Mhm.
and see her. Yeah, then that could be the thing. But even like I still think that they're done. But at least that's a way bigger gesture than getting drunk and having to have one of the other girls that you were talking to tell you off to realize like, oh damn, I messed up.
Like, what was he thinking? Was he hoping like to get with I don't know. I just loved how there was no drama
Yeah.
between like, and Molly wasn't all like, haha, Dave. Like they didn't play it off like any drama in this one. I was like,
Yeah.
Minnesota, keeping it
Seriously,
real.
they should be considered the state of brotherly love because man, there is such like brotherhood and sisterhood on both sides
Yes.
that's just like amazing to see.
Yes, I have a note. Even with like all the guys in like the bachelor party, all their friends, they all seem like such good dudes asking
Yeah,
good emotional questions, being so supportive, so kind. All the girls are just so supportive of one another. Like everyone seems like good friends. Like I know. It's a weird like isn't it a
it's really
major
sweet.
difference from any other season though? Like I was
Yeah,
like, what is going on? Minnesota. That's my only
it's crazy.
theory.
Yeah, it's like and it's little things too, like even during the party night, like you see the girls taking the shots from like the long plank and
Hmm.
everything, And like
Mhm.
it's not that big of a deal. But just seeing them all do it together, and one was like, "Wait, I'm not ready yet." And then they all did it together. It's like, oh, it's kind of cute and sweet, and the guys are doing like just the way they all see each other, like, oh my God, or they're like, where's this person? It's like, where's my like, as much as we're not liking Dave right now, it's like he obviously has a different relationship with the guys, and
Yeah.
that's typical amongst everybody. Like you are different with your boys than you are with your girl,
Mhm.
and they're just like, where's my boy Dave? Where's Dave? There he is! Ah! And they're like, what? Other girls like, what's happening? And they're like, oh, Dave's here. Or for the guys, it's like, well, we're not dating him.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like
He's okay to
we're not
us.
trying to sleep with him. It's like we're just dudes, and they're all just like super happy to see one another. They're all hugging one another. It just seems so sweet. And like I don't, while it's happened in other seasons, it doesn't feel as genuine as this felt.
Yeah. Or as prevalent. Like there isn't it like this is just like everyone. Like
Yeah.
everyone's happy. So speaking of cheering when seeing the boys, we get Mason coming in, holding hands with Meg. Do you know who didn't show up
Yep.
to this party? Do you know who did not show up? Mason's vocal fry did not show up at the party. It was gone. It wasn't there. He was talking like a
uh,
normal human being
yeah.
because maybe he was with Meg. Remember, we talked about this.
Yeah. Meg keeps him real.
Yeah. So, how did you feel when you saw him and Meg walking in holding hands?
Honestly, expected.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that seems right.
Yeah. I,
And
I,
honestly,
I,
it's fitting because it was like I said before. I feel like there was an unjust breaking there that was just not really fair for either party, and
Mhm.
so it was good that they got to reconnect and figure some things out. Now, granted, it also flies against the whole Love Is Blind thing because they saw each other and they're like, I got to freaking get with this person. So she's like, I can't miss out
True.
on this. Forget that.
Yeah, it goes against it, but at the same time, they liked each other without seeing each other
They
at
did.
first. So it
They did.
wasn't like a ooh, look at that. I want to get to know that. It was I got to know that, and oh my god, look at that. Like it was. So it's it's still kind of counts. But what?
Yeah.
Okay, Madison.
Madison came in with that breakup hair.
Yeah, yeah,
When
yep,
I saw her with the hair color, it's like, oh, okay, this is a statement.
yeah,
I'm a new person. F all of you. Because I know that
yes.
hair. I've seen it before. Not with me, but I've had friends. Yeah, no, I felt like she came in with a chip on her shoulder. And
Hmm.
granted, with what the story she gives us, which I would have loved to have heard even more about it, but they didn't really give Alex's side of things. But knowing
No.
that they kind of talked to each other afterwards, and again, you see people's faces on Instagram, and you're like, oh goddamn, I messed up. Second try. Maybe I can still get in there. And it's like if he was truly like trying to get at her afterwards, after everything, and he was changing his story, I get it. That is a lot of douchebag moves on his end, especially the whole
Hmm.
like backing freaking Mason and then not backing him afterwards, saying he was an asshole. It's just like, make up your mind. Is he your boy? Is he not your boy? You know? At the same time, I could say maybe something happened afterwards. Maybe he was cool all beforehand, but then when it came to the breakups, maybe Mason changed. Maybe he became a freaking a pain in the ass. Don't
Hmm.
know. But I would have loved to have heard more from Alex's side. He didn't really he all he said was just like some stuff happened and then that was it. And I was like, what happened? Like we know what she thought. What about your side? What went down?
Also, what was she saying? She says Alex is a major liar. He
Yeah.
lies about everything. And she said that Meg hit up Alex. And then, but
Yes.
then she said, but he's a big liar. So I don't even know if he's telling the truth or not. But then I'm like, Madison, are you a liar? Like, I don't know who to believe. Um, we
Yeah,
need to
because we
hear
never
from Meg.
saw I don't think we ever saw Meg really talking to Alex
No,
the
we
way
never
she was
saw that.
talking to Mason.
No, we never saw Meg talking to Alex at all. So that's why I'm like, are we gonna learn about this in the reunion? Because
Yeah.
I have no idea what like if Meg actually reached out to Alex, if Alex is actually a liar, if Madison is actually a good person or not. Like I have no idea. I have no idea.
Madison was one of those ones that we liked before. but then like
First.
the yeah, like in the beginning, but then like the breakups happened and she became a different person. And like I said before, I felt like she was being destructive
Mm,
towards other people's relationships where she didn't have to be, and
yeah.
then when she lost her opportunity, like you can see in her face like she's just like, well, what the fuck. And what I get now is just a person who did not like their experience from this whole ordeal, from this experiment, and now they just, like I said, she got a chip on her shoulder. And I from what's being given off from what we're seeing, I just think she's not taking things well, and she's just trying to like make others look bad still in the
Yeah.
process.
Yeah. I feel like that's the strategy to make others look bad. Okay, so let's
So
start
let's
with the
go to
bachelorette party
parties.
first, or what do you
Yeah,
think?
yeah,
Okay.
parties. Yeah, let's
Okay.
go to the parties first. Yeah, because that was just some wholesome goodness that
Yeah.
I love so much, and I like that both parties were wholesome. Because like I brought this up to actually Jen was with me when I was watching these. She was playing her cell phone games, but she was
Mm,
next to me, and I had to point it out because I was like, I've seen past seasons where generally the guys don't ever go to the typical like strip club thing. They always do some kind of activity. But we've seen the girls go to strip clubs and everything. But I love that this one was like the guys went to like the freaking what was it?
the Minnesota
Football.
Vikings
The Vikings.
stadium.
Yeah, they went to the
Yeah.
Viking Stadium, got to play with some of the players. That looked so awesome. And I was like, you know what? When you're a guy, this is why you go on Love is Blind. It's like
Yeah.
because for the opportunity, you hope to find someone for the opportunity to go to some awesome baseball stadium, football stadium, and just be on the field playing ball with your boys because that looks
Mm,
amazing.
yes.
But the girls, I love that they all dressed up as grannies and just went to the mall. Like that was
That
awesome.
that was my like that is something that again I would do. Like I would be like, okay, bachelorette
Yeah.
party, we're all dressing up like elderly people. I loved um Taylor with the little tube up her nose and everything, like the elderly bachelorette party. Like I just loved it so much. That's like one of the best things because you know, I never want to see anyone go to like a dancer, stripper type thing.
Yeah.
Like it's just like I never want to see that. But like so they don't do it for the guys and they do it for the girls. And I'm like, I'm just not like I come on. You had a little bit of I don't know. I'm just not into that. So I loved this where they're like, oh, all of America, which is awesome. Loved the bachelor and bachelorette parties. Okay, so then we get to the next episode. And again, Taylor and Daniel being cute, having dinner on the ice. I
Yeah.
mean, if one of them says no, I'm gonna be shocked. I don't even
Seriously. I think because they've passed their little speed bump. They've
hmm
passed it and now everything has just been like smooth sailing. Well, like everyone
hmm
else is kind of like finding little things along the way still.
Yes, they seem to just be growing
Yeah.
and thriving and glowing. Joey and Monica, what are your thoughts? Because I'm scared.
Man, for me, like if you'd asked me before these three episodes, like who are the guarantees, I was like, well, definitely them. They're top of the list. They have to be the like guaranteed. But
hmm
then hearing Monica talk about how Joey is and like how she never knows if he's 100% a yes. And he kind of talked about it. Whereas with his friends, where he's just like, you know how I am, I live every day by day, and it's just like everything's on a whim. And it's spontaneous. So it's like that's crazy to me how you can be spontaneous, but yet also have OCD and want things in order. It's just like
Yes.
it's so contradictory. It's
So true. So true.
so true.
That's so true because let me tell you, I'm like well, let's say I'm a diagnosed OCD anxious person. So I not to his extent. Like I'm not tapping things or anything like that. It's more like
Yeah.
control. I do tap my gas pedal and brake back and forth every time before I drive until it feels right. But anyway, that's one thing. But he spontaneity.
Spontaneity. Yeah.
Thank you. This makes me a little scared. Like I can't make big decisions like on the spot. I mean,
Yeah.
when I know I'm going to go to a restaurant in like a week, I'm already looking at the menu to plan what I'm going to eat. For him to be, I'm spontaneous. I'm going to make the biggest life decision ever before, but I have OCD and I need to count every time and walk into doors a certain way and like with a foot. Like I don't get it. unless he's
It's
that
crazy.
healed. He's that healed where it's like he has to force himself to make decisions on the spot, which is also kind of OCD.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where it's like, no, I'm obsessive about making decisions on the spot. I have to be this way, or else I'm going to fall into pattern. I don't know what it is, but this is a big one. And I mean, you think I thought he knew. I thought he was set,
I thought
but
so too. Especially like when he's talking to his friends and they're like, "Well, do you see her as being like this? Does she make a difference to you in your world? Like do you need her?" And it's like every time he talks about it, he's like, "Yeah, like I love her. I can't imagine being without her. You know, she makes my world better." And it's just like, "All right, you're saying all these things, yet you don't know." How can you be like so in love? She makes everything better. You love everything about her. You love what she makes you feel, what the man she brings out of you, but yet you're not sure if she's the one.
did
Like
you
that's
notice how he words things sometimes? He doesn't say I love her, I'm in love. He says I have love for
yeah,
her.
yeah.
I have so much love, and that's not the same. All right? That's almost like choosing words wisely. So like I am in love with her and I have love for her. It's different.
Yeah, no, it's true.
So
It's very true.
I don't know if he's making the choice to word it that way.
Yeah, which
I
sucks is
don't
that it
know.
means the sister's right.
Sort of. No, her sister's not right. I'm gonna.
If he says no, she's right.
We don't want her to be right.
Yeah,
He has to say yes for spite.
yeah.
It's like a Seinfeld
For
episode.
spite
He's
reasons,
getting
yes.
married for spite. But
Yeah,
yeah,
because
that
she's
whole
in
thing
it.
in
I feel
yeah,
she's in it. She's dedicated.
she is dedicated, but you can only be so dedicated to somebody who you feel is unsure of you.
It'd be crazy who they ask first on wedding
Yeah,
day
no,
because
that's
like because she's uncertain. She's uncertain of him. She's not uncertain of her feelings. Like she wants to say yes to him. Like she said it. She's like since yesterday, today, and tomorrow, it's like it's a yes. It's like unless he says no, kind of thing. So, but like you can see her since she has that doubt. What if they ask her first, and she just sees something in his face that tells her he's going to say no. I'm going to say no first. You know?
like self-preservation. I don't
Yeah.
know, but you can tell she's worried too because when Joey says something when they're eating, he says like, "Oh, well, we're gonna have to go to Australia, or like we're gonna have to go to this," and like he's making future plans, saying it to her, and
Yes.
she says
Yes.
right away, "Don't promise me, don't make promises, Joey." So right now, she's scared that he doesn't mean it. It's all the
Yeah.
language that they're using where you can see and you can sense and hear the insecurity in the relationship on her side because she says he's not vocal enough for her about things and him choosing his words wisely about it's nothing like overly gushy. It's not like, oh my god, she's the one, like,
Yeah.
oh god, I am so in love. It's very much like, oh yeah, she adds value to my life, I have love for her. It's all could be like friend related, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know I'm scared because I love them together. Oh, and I also one more thing about this episode that I loved is when Ben and Sarah are talking, and Sarah says, "I listened to a service. She listened to a service, and she's bringing up about some about trans people, and then the preacher or priest, whatever he is, guy says." Well, if a kid wants to says they're fat, then you want to help them lose weight. I don't know. There's a big weird metaphor analogy that didn't seem to fit, and she kind of took it the way I get. I think also she wanted to take it in the way she
Yeah.
heard it, and it wasn't like actually what the guy said. And just love Ben. It's such a dude thing, which I love. I'm not criticizing Ben for this. I love it. Where he's like, listen, we just talk about this so much. Like we talk about this stuff all the time. Like, can we just not? He's
He's
like, I
like, I'm
want
just
to have a
tired
good
from
day.
work. I'm just
Yeah, I'm tired from work. We always talk about this. I want to have a good day. Like, I want to have a good date. It's our last date for the wedding. Like, can we just like not? He's like, we're always talking about this.
Yeah.
Like, and I agree with him. It's like, is this going to be the main focus of our relationship? Because there's a lot more to me. There's a lot more to us. There's a lot more to life than this one topic. Seriously.
Especially the thing is, it's like the both of you are cisgendered people in a hetero relationship. Why are
Yeah.
you harping on this so much? And it does when it doesn't affect you at all. It's like
Yeah.
I
I
get being an
mean,
advocate, 100%. I do understand it. Again, as someone who has gay, trans friends and stuff like that, I understand. but how is that really affecting you two being together? You know,
No,
it's not, especially if you know he's accepting already. He's already proven he's
yeah,
accepting. Why? Why is this on, especially such a romantic night? It's such a romantic setting and like that freaking like igloo bed thing. It almost seemed
yeah.
too intimate for us to be watching. I was just like, what's about to happen right now? What's like they're disrobing and stuff? Like, why are we seeing this?
And then he farts apparently, which is awesome.
He was the realest he's ever been in this episode.
Yeah, yeah, it was awesome. I loved it.
But yeah, which I will say, like the thing that the analogy that she was hating on was a great analogy, though.
Hmm.
It's a really good analogy of like if a young child thinks that they're the opposite sex when they're not, it's like you would get them help because if a child who is thin thinks they're overweight but they're not overweight, you would get them help to make them realize like you're not overweight, you're the perfect size, like you're okay. You know, it's just like anorexia. You know, it's just like
Hmm.
you get help for that. So the fact that she couldn't see that as a good analogy was crazy to me, which to me, when she started spouting that rhetoric, I thought to myself, I was like, you got to get out of this relationship. You go because one thing is supporting the trans thing. Another thing is saying that you support a child wanting to like change their stuff. It's like, we don't let 16-year-olds drive without a permit. We don't let you vote until you're 18. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there are certain things you can't do until you're a certain age. You think a 5-year-old can just change whatever they want? I don't want to have a kid with you. I don't want. It's like if you don't think your kid can have cookies after 12 o'clock, what makes you think that your kid can do that? I'm sorry, just like the level of what you think a child can do is just amazing to me.
Hey,
So yeah, that was
George,
to me that was red flag.
you need to make a graphic because I don't know, I can't do it. I'm not that skilled. Of it's got to be a George spitting facts graphic, and I need to throw it in. It's just got to be you with like
uh
spit coming out of your mouth and just like George spitting facts. I just want to dance sometimes when you talk, and it's just like, you know what, George? I love this so much because you're so right. You're so right. And I also agree because that's what I mean. How I was saying she's taking that comment and making it negative
yeah.
and making it something that if you actually look at it with like a little bit of logic and not just like your activism, which, you'll be able to see like, oh, you know what? That's not hateful, actually. That's like, oh, yeah, right. That's not hateful at all. That's actually
Yeah.
compassionate to the child.
It's like,
And
oh
that's
yeah, kids
loving
don't
and
know everything
caring.
yet.
Yeah. Okay. So now,
So Devin
mm,
finally has the conversation about the prenup.
yeah.
When they're about to sit down and talk about that prenup, did you
Mhm.
think it was finally at the moment where he's just like, nah, I can't do this? Because the way he starts off the conversation is like, hey, can we go talk real quick? It's like, so I gave the prenup to my parents and they gave it to our family attorney and my mom read it over. And everything you said about, you get your stuff and I get my stuff, and we pretty much leave with whatever we came with. Yeah. She's like, mm-hmm, yeah, that seems okay. That seems it's just like, damn, dude, like, why are you so solemn about this? Like, you just seem so like done, like you're vacant. And look at her face, she's like, yeah, everything's okay. I'm not trying to take anything of yours.
I kind of almost think again, the production. I
Yeah,
think that maybe they're like, okay, listen, you got to go in there and make it dramatic, okay? Because you guys are like so on the same page. We need some drama with you guys. Go in there, be like, hey, can I talk to you? Don't just be like, yeah, I signed the prenup. Everything's cool. Like, they want to drag it.
yeah,
It's like the only drama between these two, right? So they're like, hey, maybe talk about abortion. Hey, maybe talk. I think they're just giving people things to like discuss
just
for
feeding them
drama
stuff.
because, yeah, because everyone seems like pretty cool and like Minnesota. So I think that they're just kind of being like, okay, go in there and make sure when you go in there with this prenup, you make it dramatic because we need something from you guys. Okay.
Yeah. I questioned if he actually was going to give it to her with the presents that he gave her, the jerseys with like the family thing or whatever and the
That's
basketball,
cute.
which was cute.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I loved her response, like the way she accepted it. I was just like, this is super adorable right now. She's like a
Mm-hmm.
little button. But part of me felt like he would have wanted to give her the prenup with that, showing like it's
Mm.
not a big deal. It's like this is cool, like we're good. It's like, and then giving her those things, being like, we're gonna be a family. Like pairing it all together would have been nice. But the fact that he did the presents first and Dead did that, it was just like, this is a weird order. This doesn't feel right having it like this.
Yeah, but also, I mean, I wonder like, if that was the order. Was it edited like that? I don't know. I
Maybe.
can't.
Yeah.
No, like I can't. But the presents were super cute, and but the fact that she was so like she felt seemed it's like how she felt it really in her heart, and she was like, oh, like it was just so sweet. Like it was just so
Yeah.
sweet that she was so grateful for it. Yeah, I don't know. I love that. Thought that was really sweet too.
Yeah. And the fact she's
Really
like, I
cute.
want to be there for the game. Like I want to see your guys' game. It's like
Yeah.
that was sweet.
And then what do we have left? Just the wedding starting?
Oh, did we even talk about the dresses? Did
We
you
didn't
care?
talk
Did
about.
you care about the dresses? I feel like that's a big part.
I know we always talk about the dresses. Yeah, I did. I enjoyed the dresses. I There was Sarah's dress that has like it almost looks transparent, and then it had the little sleeves, which I liked them better when they were down here like this. I thought it was nice.
Yeah.
Sarah's dress is really nice. Um, Taylor's dress was nice, really princessy, but not lacy or anything. Just I like the satin and like the out and the how she came out. Her mom's like too much of the girls, so she covered up the
Yeah.
girls a bit.
Yeah.
She's a little too cleavy. I get it. I didn't want that at my wedding either. I was just like,
When I saw
we
that first dress, I was like, where did those ladies come from? I was
Oh yeah, she's pretty
yeah,
hefty up top.
I was
Yeah.
like, I feel like she's been hiding those all season. Like, they came out of nowhere. Just kidding.
Yeah, she's got some yeah.
Yeah, but then she put that other dress on. I was like, all right, it's a little more modest. It's nice, and it was a nice cut. I like the cut up top.
Yeah, it was kind of how do I explain that? Like Maleficent-y? Like it reminded me of
Ooh,
like
yes,
something
that's a good way
sharp,
to
like
describe it.
almost
Yes,
yeah,
I
it
like the
reminded
sharp
me of that.
edges.
Me
It felt
too.
more like modern and everything.
It did. I really like that. And then Monica with the big Angelina leg slit dress.
Yeah,
That was
that
nice.
was real funny. I like that. Like she was like,
Yeah.
pow.
Yeah. She's so funny and cute.
Yeah,
Virginia's was really beautiful too, kind of fairy
yeah.
tale-ish and like really pretty. I loved all the dresses. I didn't have any dress where I was like, oh no. They all were.
Yeah, and
What do you
they
think
each
about
felt
that?
unique too. Like it didn't feel like anyone
Yes.
was copying someone else's dress. Like, and maybe it's because
No.
that bridal shop had a good variety, so that
Hmm.
everyone could have a very unique feeling. Some
Hmm.
shops it just feels like that's just the same dress over and over again. Like, but like no, I
True.
thought they all had a nice good looks, and even the men like from what we saw, felt like it wasn't just like typical tuxes and stuff like that. Dudes were trying to do something a little different. It was nice.
Hmm. So I hope they all ended up with the dresses they got because they
Yeah.
all looked perfect.
It looks
I
like
like all
Sarah
of them.
did. From what we
Yeah.
saw, Sarah on the wedding day had the same
Yes.
dress. And I like how she was talking about, it's like, when I'm dancing, it'll be here, but during the ceremony, it's like to be down. He's like, ah, stages. I like this.
Yes. Okay, so it's their wedding. They're getting ready. Sarah's sister and sister-in-law again are having their opinions.
Their hush talk, that little hush conversation. And it's just like, oh, come on, guys. Like, I get it. I get you have your trepidations about this situation, but that should have been said a long time ago. Today is the day. Like, even on a regular wedding day with people who had a regular amount of time before saying their I do's,
Hmm.
the last thing you want is some negative shit going in your head because you're already doing it to yourself. You don't need an
Hmm.
outside source getting in there because you're all the angels and demons you need in that moment. If anything, what you need is just a lot more positivity and support.
Yep.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be like, remember to say yes. It's just like be I'm here for you and we're here to support both you guys. Like that's what they need. They just need people who are who have their backs. But they're just over there drinking their champagne or whatever and spouting negativity. It's like, oh, I was so annoyed by the sister and the wife.
Yeah, mostly to me, it was the sister, like her sister's wife, where I was like, can
Yes.
you
Yeah, she's the
stop?
instigator.
Like, yeah, she is an instigator.
I was okay with how the sister phrased her thoughts in the moment with this like, do this for yourself,
Hmm.
make this decision for yourself. I thought that was still good advice. It's just
Hmm.
like don't think about anyone else. This is like pretty much like this is your moment, and whatever you decide, make sure that it's the one that you want to make, and not something that someone else wants for you. I felt that's still good positive advice at the end of the day. And I
Yeah.
liked that the conversation she had with her dad, even though the dad was still being kind of negative, but at the same time, it's almost like the dad's job,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
be like, "Are you sure this is the guy? You're positive about this?" It's like, all right.
Hmm.
It's like, well, at the end of the day, it's like we're here for you. We got your backs no matter what. You always count on us, regardless if it's yes or no. You know, we're your family, and that's that. We love you.
Hmm.
And it's like I love that the parents were such a great support system in that whole situation.
Hmm. I agree. It's mostly the sister-in-law that's doing the
Yeah,
bargain. Okay, so what are your prediction? What do you think, Sarah and Ben? Are they going to say yes or
man, I don't know because during their solo stuff, because they're not together right now, like Ben having conversations with his friends and family and everything, and
Mhm.
like there was a sense of doubt on his end, and even a little bit on her end, where it's like there's not 100% sure, and I think it honestly is all going to come down to that belief system. I think
Mhm.
maybe as people, they truly love being around one another and they love that energy, but
Mhm.
knowing that the future has church and and possible protest, who knows? You know what I mean? Like both ends, that they're not on the same side of the spectrum here. They are and they're not,
Mhm.
at the same time. Like I think he's fully supportive, but it's just she's so hardcore about it, and the fact that
Mhm.
he's not hardcore with her, I think that could be the divide.
Well, what are you
I don't
predicting? Yes or no? And who says
I
yes? Who says no? Both say yes.
I think she might say no.
Really?
I think she might say no. They're not 100% to me.
I'm wondering if she says yes out of spite against her
Oh,
sister-in-law.
the family, yeah. And he says no, and think he would say no? He could say no too, just because of how much like she doesn't let that thing go. And it's just like, can I see myself 10 years from now still having the same goddamn conversation?
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
where he's just like, we've been over this, all right? Our son is trans. Why would I care? Why,
Our son is trans. I I feel like they're gonna say yes.
Both of them?
Yes, I do. Joey and Monica.
I want them to say yes. That's
I
what I
know.
that's what I want.
Hmm.
I just don't know about Joey anymore. I just the fact that Joey's the wild card. I feel like you could flip a coin and be like, yeah, it might be yes, it might be no. We just don't know. Uh, but I'll make it real easy. I think there's only one couple that's gonna say yes,
Okay.
and I think that's gonna be Taylor and
Daniel.
Daniel. Yeah, the two that were on the bottom of my list as the guarantees have flipped, and I think they're gonna be the only ones to say yes at the end of all this.
They better. They better say yes because oh, they're so sweet together. I really hope they do.
Yeah.
What do we think Virginia and Devin are gonna say yes?
I mean they were like what number two on my list, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I want them to say yes also. It's just he's another person. I was like, I don't know. I can't read your face, man. You're not giving positive vibes here.
Yeah, I know. They might, but if anyone says no, I think it's gonna be him.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna say no. I think she's in it.
I know.
So I think
Joey to me
the
too. I don't know.
guarantees are definitely though Taylor and Daniel. The second might be Devin and Virginia,
Hmm.
but I'm not positive about anyone else at this point. And
Yeah.
granted, editing does wonders. Editing makes you fucking question everything, you know.
Hmm.
So like there could be much tighter relationships than we think, but just they're picking the right moments to just pull at our heartstrings.
Yes, I those are our predictions for who's gonna get married, who's not gonna get married. What does everyone else think? Please comment below. Please comment on everything below. And even if we comment back, please don't delete your comments. We're nice people. I think we talk really nice to people and respectfully. So I don't know why people be
Right?
deleting.
Right. In comments, I try to talk with logic and reason. I never
Yeah.
want to I never berate anybody. Everyone's always
Mhm.
free to their opinions. I support
Mhm.
opposite opinions. That's how you have
Mhm.
a better conversation and rhetoric. But
Yeah.
yeah, some people don't want to have their comments on there anymore, I guess. I don't know.
Thank you for watching this episode of Replays It All, this Love is Blind special. You can find more of our comments.
Find more of our comments in the comments.
You You can find more of our comments in the comments and all the other episodes we'd like to comment too, but you can find more of our content on our YouTube channel, Not a Strong Start. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter, Not a Strong Start. You listen to us anywhere you listen to your podcast. Please like and subscribe and share, and obviously comment. You can find me on Instagram at Marie Plays It All.
And you can find me at Nicolopoulos.
Never stop playing and never stop farting. Never stop farting in front of your significant other. I'm telling you. I mean, I shouldn't say that now because my husband's gonna be like, "You get mad at me when I fart," and I'm gonna be like, "Well, you fart a lot." Sorry.
Now we all know.
What else should we never stop doing? Never stop farting and never stop what?
Spitting that truth.
Oh, spitting that truth. Oh my God, spitting them facts. Come on, George.
uh